everybody. Welcome to C3 Films. My name is Cheryl, and this is.
Chris.
And today we're doing another episode of Show and Tell, where one of us watches a show or wants to show the other person something and then tell the other person about it. So today I would like to tell you about my experience binge watching season 1 to 3 of Picard. So I know you're not
Oh,
like a
interesting.
super, yeah. Why do you sound so
Okay.
disappointed? Like, oh great,
No, no,
Star
no. I'm not
Trek.
disappointed. It's because Picard has just been coming up in my feeds recently, and like someone was talking about how they were upset with Picard because they got rid of a character that people really liked and would have liked to see a spinoff for, and so like one of the newer characters that they brought in that they just felt like the writers and didn't anticipate how popular that character was going to get, and then when they killed that character off, a lot of people were upset. So that's why I just thought it was interesting because Picard literally has just been like came up like a day ago for me, and I haven't watched a single episode, but I saw that
Right. Oh, which character?
one of the guys, one of
The captain?
the captains, like yeah, it's like
Oh,
well, I guess a younger captain or something like that,
yeah.
but
Yeah. Okay. I know what
yeah.
you mean. Um, but yeah, I actually watched the first yeah, I was kind of bummed about it too. It was like, no way, that he's got to come back or something like that. But I could see where it was going. But I'll get into it later. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, season one I actually saw closer to when it first came out, and I was kind of bummed about it because I was like, this isn't Star Trek. It doesn't have like a Star Trek format. It's just
Hmm.
Picard, really, and we're getting some cameos, so it's like whatever. Like I was hoping to get what we all hoped from like Obi-Wan or like the sequel trilogy, where
Yeah.
like we wanted all of our favorite characters to come back and like them to do their thing again, or at least be, more of a Star Trek format kind of show, like something that would be more resembling what we're used to, or what we're like fans of.
Hmm.
But it wasn't like that. And season two was worse than the first season.
Oh
Um,
wow.
but I had, yeah, I won't get into the details of it.
I
But,
mean, it sounds like Chad agrees. Chad is saying that season 1 and 2 was no bueno, but all right.
yeah, but then season three was like the dream. It was like everything any franchise fan could have asked for. And actually, yes, Chef's Kiss received, like, after I was done watching season three, I was like, I feel so taken care of. I feel like when they made this last season, they made it for us, and they made it for the fans, made by a fan, and like the cast was like 100% in back into their characters from the next generation. It was basically a reunion season, and it had like everything you could ever ask for in it and then some, because we also had characters from Voyager and stuff. Like, I really love Seven of Nine,
Oh,
and
okay.
she's in it. And this is what I was gonna say. Like, the captain of the Titan, which is the main ship that they use in that series,
Hmm.
he's like a new guy because he's not part of the original cast, but his first officer is Seven of Nine. So like, I kind of saw his death coming because they have to make way for Seven of Nine to become captain someday. So it kind of made sense to me why he had to go. But I love his character because he starts off as kind of like someone you don't really like, because he's like
Yeah.
really he's like fighting against, he's pushing back on Picard,
Right. He
and
seems like he's gonna be one of those like foils that Picard's gonna have to deal with.
sort of, but like in a good way. Like, he's a by the book kind of guy, and Picard isn't really. Like, he's
Mhm.
a loophole kind of guy.
Right.
And this guy, he's like no loopholes, by the book. And so he gives Picard and Riker some pushback, and Seven as well. So they're all trying to like achieve this thing. And he's like, nope, we're not doing it because it's against the rules. And but then, like, at the end of the day, he actually pulls through. He's actually a really good guy. Just because he,
Right.
follows the rules doesn't mean that he's not a good guy.
Right.
But
That's cool.
it makes him a likable character in that aspect. And because he ends up, you know, helping out the team. Um, but yeah, I mean,
Is this the final season? Is it done now?
yeah, it's done. Done.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, Patrick Stewart is like 80 something years old. Good for him though that he's still like making content and stuff like that. Um, but I think it was great. I feel like they just really went with it, and it just goes to show you that, like, when Disney bought all this stuff and started churning out all these like Star Wars content and
Hmm.
stuff, they only had one thing in mind, which is
Right.
make money. But when,
Right.
like, you can really tell when they made this last season of Picard, it was really for the fans, and like you could really see it. So I
Yeah, but
was
it also sounds like they had no choice considering the first two seasons where they didn't do that, it didn't work.
I don't think
So,
it didn't work. I think it was always the
oh,
plan to do this,
okay.
but they
Okay.
just wanted to, like, try to do other stuff as well. So, because they had these characters, a bunch of these characters did show up, and I also know that a lot of the characters from Next Generation love their characters, and they always wanted to, like, come back and do stuff. So I think it was always the plan to
Hmm.
end it that way, but they just wanted to, like, kind of warm up to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, I did hear that the Picard season 3 was the way that they wish Star Wars was handled. Even if they said
Yes.
it was a little fan servicey, but overall it paid reference to these older legacy characters, and they wish that that reference could have been done the same for us on the Star Wars side of the world. So,
100%. Yeah. Actually, that's why I went back and watched it, because I had heard that they really delivered. So I was like, "Oh man, I got to see it." And so I watched it, and I think they did a really great job, because they didn't just like make it a reunion series
hmm,
or a season, but they also integrated new characters. So they could
right.
very easily spin this off. So it was like a proper handing of the torch
I
as
see.
well. So yeah.
Okay. And so
So I
I
can
think
totally see it continuing.
so. My next question is just that: is it? I can't remember. Is this like captains from different crews that are all in, like together,
No.
or is this like mainly the TNG?
It's just TNG and Seven of Nine from Voyager with some cameos from other.
Others.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm guessing you would have to have watched at least most of Star Trek to get an appreciation for this, or do you think that you could watch it without like watching any more than two seasons of TNG,
I
which is
think
the
you
only
can.
thing I've
I
seen?
don't think you need to have watched that much to really like enjoy it, because it
Okay.
falls back into the TNG format,
Okay.
kind of.
Nice.
But it's like a very like today kind of series where you
Mm,
have like one story and it's the whole season. That's
yeah.
not usually how Star Trek is.
Star
It's
Trek
usually one
is very
story per
exotic.
episode, but they're
Right.
all still connected. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm down to check it out, if for nothing else than to just see what could have been if we had more respect for our Star Wars legacy characters. But, I'm glad that Star Trek fans are happy.
I cried. I literally cried. There was this one moment where they were all together and they were all on the ship on the bridge, and it was like crying, and I was like, oh my god, they're all here. They're all here. It's amazing.
I'm happy for you, but I am also sad for me.
My boyfriend is also super jealous, like how happy I was. Like he saw how just everything that I was feeling. Like I was emotional. I was so happy. It was like tears full of joy, and he was like, I'm so jealous that they didn't do this for Star Wars.
Yeah, if only another
If
world.
only. Yeah.